Hello and welcome back, it's Shrike here again with another D&D video. Today we're going to be looking at some new subclasses as we dive back into Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. Before we get on with the rest of the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, and then tap the notification bell just next to it so you get notified when a new video goes live. So far we've looked into the vestiges of divergence, the arms of the betrayers, and now we're going to jump into the new subclasses from this book. After this, the final video will probably be on the new spells that they've also introduced to this book. I didn't realise that they had introduced any new spells, but I've seen since that there's some new spells, so I'll do another video on them, and then that's probably going to wrap up Explorer's Guide to Wildemount for us. So without further ado, let's jump into D&D Beyond. So I'm just going to skip past all this flavour text. I'm not going to bore you by reading that, so we're just going to skip straight through to the fighter subclass that is called the Echo Knight. A mysterious and feared frontline warrior of the Qin dynasty, the Echo Knight has mastered the art of using dunamis to summon the fading shades of unrealised timelines to aid them in battle. Surrounded by echoes of their own might, they charge into the fray as a cycling swarm of shadows and strikes. That sounds pretty awesome to me. Hopefully the mechanics of this actually live up to that description. So at level 3 you get Manifest Echo. So you can use a bonus action to magically manifest an echo of yourself in an unoccupied space within 15 feet of you, so quite a low range there. This echo is a magical, translucent, grey image of you that lasts until it is destroyed, until you dismiss it as a bonus action, until you manifest another echo, or until you're incapacitated. Your echo has an AC of 14 plus your proficiency bonus, it has 1 hit point and immunity to all conditions. If it has to make a saving throw, it uses your saving throw bonus for the roll. It is the same size as you, and it occupies its own space. On your turn, you can mentally command the echo to move 30 feet in any direction. If your echo is ever more than 30 feet from you at the end of your turn, it is destroyed. You can use your echo in the following ways. As a bonus action, you can teleport, magically swapping places with your echo at a cost of 15 feet of your movement, regardless of the distance between the two of you. That is very interesting. So the echo can only ever be no more than 30 feet away from you at the end of your turn, or it's destroyed. So basically it's a magical swap within 30 feet of you, which uses your bonus action and 15 feet of your movement. Okay, we've not seen anything like that, which swaps places, so that's quite a cool new mechanic in the game. When you take the attack action on your turn, any attack you make with that action can originate from your space or the echo space. You make this choice for the attack. Okay, so you can send your echo in as a bit of a dummy and then get them to do some attacks before they die. When a creature that you can see within 5 feet of your echo moves at least 5 feet away from it, you can use your reaction to make an opportunity attack against that creature, as if you were in the echo space. Okay, so you got opportunity attack as well. I really like that actually, so I am a fan of having pets in games. So this isn't the same, obviously, but it's still having something else, another entity than yourself that you can control and move around. It reminds me of the Cleric of the Trickster, Duplicity, I think the ability is called, where it can summon another one, sort of similar to that. At level 3, they get Unleash Incarnation. You can heighten your Echo's Fury. Whenever you take the attack action, you can make another additional melee attack from the Echo's position. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier. You gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, so there's not many abilities that use the Constitution modifier. That's basically mainly at the moment used for hit points and then obviously saving throws. This is an ability that's using the Constitution modifier to see how many times you can do the ability, which is quite interesting. It incentivizes fighters to put more in Constitution than strength, maybe? Nah, probably not. I think people are still going to put it more in strength, but I like that. It's a bit different. At level 7 you get the Echo avatar. You can temporarily transfer your consciousness to your Echo. As an action you can see through your Echo's eyes and hear through its ears. During this time you are deafened and blinded. You can sustain the effect for 10 minutes and you can end it at any time. Requires no action. While your Echo is being used in this way, it can be up to 1,000 feet away from you without being destroyed. That's so there's other abilities like that, especially for the Warlock, being able to see through the familiar's eyes. But yeah, I like that, and then it also means the Echo can go up to 1,000 feet away from you instead of the 30 feet from before. Yeah, that's another cool ability. Shadow Martyr, so that's a 10th level ability. You can make your Echo throw itself in front of an attack directed at another creature that you can see. Before the attack roll is made, you can use your reaction to teleport the Echo to the unoccupied space within 5 feet of the targeted creature. The attack roll that triggered the reaction is instead made against your Echo. Once you use the feature, you can't use it again until a short or long rest. Okay, so because your Echo's got 1 hit point, if it gets hit, it's probably going to die. But it's a bit of a saving grace to one of your allies, so that's pretty cool. There's the new Barbarian from Xanathar's, the Ancestor one, has a similar ability where it can throw an Ancestor in the way to take the shot instead of your ally, so it's similar vein to that. So I like that ability, that's a good one. Reclaim Potential. You've learned to absorb the fleeting magic of your Echo. When an Echo of yours is destroyed by taking damage, you can regain a number of temporary hit points equals to 2d6 plus your Constitution modifier, provided you don't already have temporary hit points. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier. You gain all expenses after a long rest. So it's using the Constitution modifier again. For a 15th level ability, is 2d6 plus your Constitution modifier enough for temporary hit points? Probably not that great, and I won't know until we play it how often your Echo is going to die to see how often that gets replenished. But yeah, that number doesn't seem much to me. It's a cool concept, but yeah, mechanically it doesn't do a great deal, I don't think. If you think I'm wrong though, put it in the comments with your explanation and we'll see. So the 18th level ability, Legion of One. You can use your bonus action to create 2 Echoes with your Manifest Echo feature, and these Echoes can coexist. If you try to create a 3rd Echo, the previous 2 Echoes are destroyed. Anything you can do from one Echo's position can be done from the others instead. In addition, when you roll initiative and have no uses of your Unleash Incarnation feature left, you can regain 1 use of that feature. Okay, so you get 2 Echoes, which is once again pretty cool. And then you get another use of your Unleash Incarnation feature, which is the one where you can do the attack action after your Constitution modifier. Okay, so all in all, I really like the flavour of this Echo Knight. I can definitely see it being used a lot. There are a few players that I've played with that I know would like something like this, and some more flavour mechanics to fighters that sometimes people struggle to get out of some of the other fighter subclasses. All in all, I think it is a pretty good subclass, a nice addition to the game. So well done. So let's have a look at the wizard subclasses now. I believe there are 2, so let's have a look. So the first one is called Chronurgist magic. Focusing on the manipulation of time, those who follow the Chronurgist, that's going to be a hard word for me to say, Chronurgist tradition, learn to alter the pace of reality to their liking. Using the ramping of anticipatory dunamis, I'm going to just skip that, I can't say it. Using the ramping of some dunamis energy, these mages can bend the flow of time. Oh, what are these words? Right, that's the end of that flavour text then. Let's go straight on to the 2nd level feature. So, you can magically exert limited control over the flow of time around a creature. As a reaction, after you or a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll, an ability check or a saving throw, you can force the creature to re-roll. You make this decision after seeing whether the roll succeeded or failed. The target must use the result of the 2nd roll. You can use this ability twice and regain your uses after a long rest. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's after you see if it's a success or fail, which I think that's quite unusual in the game. It's usually after you've seen the roll, but before you know if it's a success or fail. So that's quite good. And then this can obviously be used against your allies or against your enemies. So yeah, pretty good. Another second level ability is that you can use your intelligence modifier on your initiative rolls. Okay, so you're a bit better in combat, that's good. 6th level ability, as an action you can magically force a large or smaller creature you can see within 60 feet of you to make a constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. Unless the saving throw is a success, the creature is encased in a field of magical energy until the end of your next turn or until the creature takes any damage. While encased in this way, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So I'm assuming that's supposed to be like it's held in stasis of time. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's definitely a handy feature. I can imagine a chase scene going on and then the mage does this ability and stops the person who's running away and they all manage to catch up with them, which is cool. Right, so the 10th level ability is when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 4th level or lower, you can condense the spell's magic into a mote. The spell is frozen in time at the moment of casting and held with a grey bead for 1 hour. This bead is a tiny object with AC 15, 1 hit point and is immune to poison or psychic damage. When the duration ends, if the bead is destroyed, it vanishes into a flash of light and the spell is lost. A creature holding the bead can use its action to release the spell within whereupon the bead disappears. The spell uses your spell attack bonus and save DC, and the spell treats the creature who released it as a cast for all purposes. Once you create a bead with this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a short or long rest. Okay, so this is sort of like the wing of spell storing, but 4th level or lower rather than 5th level or lower. So it's pretty handy to have, definitely. There's tons of ways you could use this. Obviously, there's a lot of spells in D&D if you haven't noticed. So the 14th level feature, you can peer through possible futures and magically pull one of them into events around you, ensuring a particular outcome. When you or a creature within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, ability check or saving throw, you can use your reaction so you can ignore the die roll and decide whether the number rolled is the minimum needed to succeed or less, or one less than that number. Your choice. Okay, so you can basically just see. Let me read that again. When your creature within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, ability check or saving throw, you can use your reaction to ignore the die roll and decide whether the number rolled is the minimum needed to succeed or one less than that number. So basically you choose if it succeeds or fails. How many times can you use this? When you use this, you gain 1 level of exhaustion. Only by finishing a long rest can you remove that exhaustion. Okay, so this is like a big ability because you get exhaustion, which is pretty nasty, and in theory you could do this up to 6 times, but you'd be dead, so it'd be stupid to do that. And there's also a little clause here that says you can only get rid of the exhaustion from a long rest, meaning that you can't free spells like Greater Restoration. So that is quite a cool mechanic actually. I like that he is bringing exhaustion use into the game. That's good. So yeah, that's a pretty good ability for the big final ability of that subclass. Let's go and have a look at the next one. It's a Graviturgy magic. Understanding and mastering the forces that draw bodies of matter together or drive them apart, the students of the Graviturgy arcane tradition that learn to further bend and manipulate the violent energy of gravity to their benefit and to the terrible detriment of their enemies. I like this image here as well with the rocks floating around there, that's cool. Okay, so the 2nd level ability is as an action you can magically alter the weight of one object or creature you can see within 30 feet of you. The object or creature must be large or smaller. The target's weight is halved or doubled for up to 1 minute. While the weight of the creature is half by the effect, the speed increases by 10 foot. It can jump twice as far, and it has disadvantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. While the weight of the creature is doubled by this effect, the creature's speed is reduced by 10 feet. It has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Okay, that's interesting. So I guess there are opportunities for you to use it against allies and against enemies, but mainly allies, just in different situations. Upon reaching 10th level in this class, you can target a object or a creature that is huge or smaller. Cool, that's good first ability. Gravity Well, level 6. You've learned how to manipulate gravity around a living being. Whenever you cast a spell on a creature, you can move the target 5 feet to an unoccupied space of your choice. If the target is willing to move, the spell hits it with an attack or it fails a saving throw against a spell. So there's not too many abilities that forcefully move people, and it's something that I don't really know why that is. I'm assuming there's some sort of balance issue with that, because I guess you could chuck people off edges and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good to have one, even if it is only 5 feet. Violent Attraction, level 10. So when another creature that you can see within 60 feet of you hits with a weapon attack, you can use your reaction to increase the attack's velocity, causing the attacks to do an additional 1d10 damage of the weapon's type. Alternatively, if a creature within 60 feet of you takes damage from a fall, you can use your reaction to increase the fall damage by 2d10. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. You gain it all after a long rest. That is good. I like that. I like the flavour of this second bit here, where if someone's falling, you can all of a sudden pull them down and do more damage. It's interesting they haven't gone the other way as well and done. You can either reduce the damage by 2d10 or take more damage, but yeah, I still like it. And then the big spell, so Vent Horizon, 14th level. As an action, you can magically emit a powerful field of gravitational energy that tugs at other creatures for up to 1 minute or until the concentration ends, as if you were concentrating on the spell. For the duration, whenever a creature hostile to you starts its turn within 30 feet, it must make a strength saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, it takes 2d10 force damage and its species reduces to 0 until the start of its next turn. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage, and every foot it moves this turn costs an extra 2 feet of movement. Once you use this feature, you can do a typical long rest, or until you expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher. Okay, so a few things with this. Firstly, reducing speed to 0 can be really nasty, especially if you're against someone who's melee, because then they sort of become useless. And then this here, or until you expend a spell slot 3rd level or higher. So that's quite interesting, because it sort of promotes you using this early in the fight, and then doing a big spell, and then you can use it again. It's something, once again, I don't think has been seen in the game so far, which is pretty good. So there you have it, there's my first look of the 3 new subclasses, the Echo Knight, the Graviturgist magic, and the Chronurgist magic. All in all, very good. I really like that there's a few mechanics in there that we haven't seen a great deal so far, and they're sort of beginning to experiment in implementing them into the game and giving you more options. The flavours of each of them are also really good. I think the idea of gravity and physics being put into the game is really good, and it's going to add sort of another level to some people's characters who might not have thought of doing it that way in the past. I think out of the 3 of them, the Echo Knight sort of stands out for me. There's some abilities in there which I think were really flavourful, and the ability to just have a second version of yourself and get them to go and do stuff and then swap places with it is really interesting to me. But that's not to take anything away from the other 2, they were also very good, so all 3 get a thumbs up from me. And as I give a thumbs up to the new subclasses, make sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed my first look. And as I said earlier, please do subscribe if you want to see more like this. We have already looked at the vestiges of divergence and the arms of the betrayers. Next up, we're going to be looking through the spells, which are all to do with Dunamancy. So that'll be the next video, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. Thank you for watching, and happy gaming.